Ursula's going to do roll call real quick, and then we can talk. That's okay, sorry.
Helms, Flores, Davis,
Here.
Costner, Sanchez,
Present.
Baker,
Here.
Lambert.
Here.
We do have quorum, we may proceed.
If you want to come up to the podium, that way we can hear you. Okay, that's good. And state your name and your ideas.
Okay, my name is Junior Barco. I don't know, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just looking through all of this, and it seems like my idea is already on here, I believe, so I don't really have much to say, but so are you guys wanting to do a whole new complex, like a baseball complex? Is that what I'm seeing? I didn't get to really read through it, but to update like the whole Kids Inc. area, or is
Well, those are just ideas that are out there right now.
ideas that are out there?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was probably one of my ideas, if it'd be nice to see a nice new complex, updated complex, just because right now our stuff is just really outdated. All of our fields need a lot of work. It's almost best just to start from brand new. That's how bad they are and condition-wise. So if we can get that, that would be great. And another thing, but I think I seen it on here too, was a splash pad. I think a splash pad here in the area would just really hit, just because there's not one in the area. Kids need something to do. The cost is not near as much as what it'd be for to having like a actual pool type of thing. And also, you know, like our city pool here, it's really not for the kids. It's not really for the infants. You got to kind of hold your kid in the water if you want them to swim in there, right? The smaller pool area does not work. So those were really the two things that I would really like to see, is just a good softball, baseball complex, and then a splash pad. Is really all I have to say.
Thank you, Junior.
Thank you.
When you look at the designs here on the softball field, do you have any opinions yourself of anything that you like, don't like?
I really haven't given much thought, but I mean, I do like this. I mean, just looking at the pictures here, so how many of these would be like an adult, like actual baseball field, and how many would be like T-ball?
Looks like three full baseball fields, and then three full
full-size.
softball fields, which I'm assuming would be championship ready. And then you've got two T-ball.
T-ball fields.
Yeah, and then two coach pitch. I mean, that would be ideal.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get something like this, that'd be great. If not, I would think that you can kind of turn it into maybe a four-field complex, just all kind of stacked next to each other. And then in the middle do have like some type of big concession stand or even playground set area.
Well, it looks like they do have a concession stand, and
Like
they
the
have a
yellow?
playground, and a playground sitting there.
Okay.
And these are also very, very preliminary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have to be able to fit it into the land that we own right there, so we'd
Right.
have to, you can't, manipulate it
Too much.
I mean,
too much, yeah.
Right. I mean, this does seem like enough fields. Honestly, it seems like quite a bit. But I mean, I think that is kind of necessary for what we need around here. And I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the idea, but I'd have to really look at a different design to see if it'd be able to fit right here in this area and whatnot. But I mean, I do like what's showing right here. So.
And if we were to do turf, based on what we did with the soccer complex, you'll notice that they upkeep that really nice with the grass and the cutting, and so I'm sure however we can fit this in, you'll see a lot of improvement with, some of the upkeep like they do at the soccer fields, the water and the...
I definitely do agree with turf being one of the better options just for around here if we are trying to conserve water and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. But I do like this.
And then the splash pad, can I keep, is I'm okay? Am I on the splash pad, we did discuss a couple things that has come to our attention before. One of the thoughts we had was turning the baby pool into a splash pad.
Okay.
So that's something that we have been looking at.
Okay.
So that might help your concern on that. I don't know where we're at with that. You know, we had some maintenance issues we had to take care of with the city this year, you know, the pool, but
Right.
I know that's something we were looking at. I know there is a splash pad over by the old library, there's a
Yes.
splash pad there, so we do have that
Yeah.
available to the kids.
I am aware of that one, I guess.
Yeah.
That one's kind of hidden. I'm not sure if everybody kind of knows about
Yeah.
that one, but,
We could always do a little better job
Yeah.
promoting that.
yeah,
But
exactly.
the problem with the splash pad too is, you know, we're on a strict water budget,
That's
you know,
very
and we
true.
can't be having splash pads and water evaporate, you know what I mean, when we're more worried about people's drinking water.
Only if
Yeah,
you get one that
exactly.
recycles
We
it.
can, but
Yeah, exactly.
that is in our pocket, that is something we have been
Okay.
looking at, and so I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah, I
that.
have seen the two options of like a recirculating where it kind of has
Yeah.
a reservoir and whatnot. That may be the better option, like you said, for conserving
Yeah.
water around here,
So-
but I think it is a little bit more costly.
But like, we have been thinking about that, so.
Awesome.
Good.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, it sounds like it's nothing new then. I mean, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
for what you guys have here then.
Now, if you have $1 million check, we'll take that.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, wish I did. I probably already have one built by now, but if I did, yeah, I'd definitely give it to you guys to build that. So that's all I really had.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess, sorry, my other question would be, this is just preliminary, so this is not like a for sure thing that's gonna happen.
Correct.
Is there so much more involved?
Yes, this is like,
a timeline to kind of go like, hey, yes, this is gonna happen? Timeframe on what you guys think?
It took 10 years
Well,
to
I
get
think
the
I-
soccer complex
I
going.
think I'll let Shannon take over that comment.
I knew it
Or
would
that
take
question.
years, I just didn't know.
What all depends.
Honestly, I didn't think 10 years, to be honest with you, but I was thinking maybe around 3 to 5 to 6 years.
I'll let Shannon answer that question.
I'll go ahead and just address that. Mike Shannon, interim city manager. Our staff is trying to come up with a plan. It's nice to have plans, but it's also kind of nice to get us a financial plan too, how we're going to accommodate that. You made the comment, we just had $1 million. I wish
That was it.
I wish it'd be just as simple as having $1 million. So right now, we're just trying to figure out what the community would like to have. And we start opening up meetings and just getting some good feedback. Our convention and tourism had a open meeting a month ago probably. That's where some of these ideas come up that you're looking at there. And what I want to do is in the next 3 to 5 years have enough money set aside, and that's what I want to talk about with you all tonight. I mean, it's nice to have all these plans, but are we as a community ready to
Fund it.
fund these plans with, and the cities itself, you know, there's like 3 different ways cities can generate money. Through utility rates, through sales tax, and there's also something called a GO bond, which is general obligation bonds. Basically, long story short is that you can borrow money and it'll be assessed on your property taxes. So we're just trying to figure out some ways to make the quality of life issues kind of meet the community's needs at this particular time. Right now, close to 50% of all the monies that is collected, sales tax, utility rates right now, goes to subsidize our quality of life issues, 50%. It's just the way cities operate. I mean, we cannot be let's take the swimming pool. It'd be hard to charge a kid $20 a day just to go swimming. And that's approximately what it would cost a child for the city to break even, make enough money to do operations and manage the thing, something like that. So we have to subsidize from other parts of the city. So that's what we're trying to get a feel of and just do something that the city could utilize and that the majority of the citizens would get behind and get this financed. So I want to just keep that in mind though, because it's going to cost a lot of money. We've seen prices triple on everything right now. So it's going to be an interesting year. but we have to start somewhere, and we have some beautiful parks. First, I wanted to say kudos to Seaboard. They seen a need for pickleball. Oh my! I've never heard of pickleball until Seaboard came in and said, "Hey, we'll buy the supplies. Would the city do the painting?" And George and his crew put the pickleball court into play. Bingo! So we have good community partners, but wow, it's going to take a lot of money to go in these baseball fields. It's been a dream of mine since ever. I mean, this is baseball country. I mean, and soccer now, but it is baseball country. It'd be nice to have 5 or 6 fields lighted up during year round. I mean, so anyway, that's kind of where we're at. But just keep in mind, it's going to take a lot of money to get that done, and they're just if the community will get us behind us to let that happen. So.
But kids, since it's on Kids Inc. property, and I don't, can they help us with some of that funding, or how does that all work?
Sure, they can. They can. I just don't know enough about Kids Inc.
Yeah,
the finance.
doesn't mean they will.
I just don't.
Yeah, they
know.
don't make their own money either.
If they're like any other volunteer organization, they just barely get money.
So that's, to correct you a little bit, it's not Kids Inc.'s property, it's the city's property.
Right, okay.
That we lease out to Kids Inc.
Gotcha. Okay, that was kind of
And that's why we kind of took the liberty. I don't think we even contacted Kids Inc. when we started drawing over their.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't think there'd be any objections if somebody built a $2 million facility on their land. I mean,
Yeah.
it enhanced the whole program.
It would.
I have a question for George. And he's kind of surprised, but maybe you can answer it to your best of abilities. But are there ways that we can save on the parks, like with, instead of putting mulch down, doing another thing, even though it might be more upfront, but be more cost efficient in the long run? Like at the soccer complex on the playground, instead of having the mulch, they have like that rubber padding. Is that cheaper in the long run? Or do you know those numbers by chance?
I don't know those numbers, but I can tell you that it depends on the place, like the Mountain Park. That way it's sitting down low. It would be beneficial for us, the rubber right there. Because at the end of the day, all that dirt and everything gets in towards the playground, so that would be difficult. But like on Centennial Park might be a good place to start. I mean, Fowler Park, I'm sorry. That'd be one of them. We might be doable, but not in all of them will qualify for us to use that rock rubber.
Yeah.
But he's something to look into.
Because I think, well, just park-wise, I'd rather have my kid come home with nothing on them instead of a bunch of mulch.
In the long run, it might be because normally every other year I have to purchase a mold liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a good $500 for those two guys.
Yeah.
They bring. That's pretty much for Oklahoma, Fowler, Johnson Park. That's where I use it. So, but normally I do it every other year where I get that mulch up here. But having mulch, weeds grow in them, I gotta spray them.
I know.
So there's a lot of maintenance that comes along with having mulch
Yeah.
compared to that rubber that you mentioned.
We live in the panhandle too, that wind and stuff, that mulch goes everywhere and in your mowers, it's clogging up your mowers.
But so far, the one we have with soccer companies, they're great. The last 3 years now.
Are we already going on 3 years?
Last 2 years, forward play.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's holding great. So be interested to see the next couple of years or see how it's holding up and holding it.
Awesome.
But we definitely can look into some numbers.
Let's see what benefits us best.
Yes.
Mike, as we talk about the baseball fields and that project going forward, I think maybe something that might be really important is for us to take a look at the soccer complex, the total cost, what the community investment was, and then what revenue it's producing for the city and how is it kind of coming back on itself. I think that could put it in perspective for people and be a real good selling point for something like that.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. there's more than meets the eye.
Yep.
I mean, if you was just out there this last weekend, I don't know how many thousand, I mean, well, it was 1,000, but there's a lot of people come to town
Yep.
every weekend. We have a tool, we haven't used that tool in a couple of months, basically can tell us how many people were there, where they went. We can just get an estimate of what they're doing. I can tell you in 2022, the economic impact of the soccer complex, we probably netted about, close to $900,000 worth of sales tax.
Yeah.
That's not too shabby.
Yeah, I think that's a really important
Yeah.
piece.
There again, you got a $4 million
Yep.
facility out there. So within a couple of years, we're going to have to start doing some, not extensive repairs and maintenance on it. So if we can keep that up and keep people coming into town, spending that money, going down, a lot of people go to Walmart, a lot of people go to McDonald's, and if we just keep that up right now, we've seen a kind of a decline in sales tax too in the last 6 months, and it's not a percentage enough that me as a city manager that it's alarming, but I think we've pretty well just equaled out, and it's maybe 2% down from what it was last year. So people are still coming. I think 23 is going to be a stellar year for the soccer complex. I'll just go ahead and go out on a limb. We'll see in excess of probably $1 million worth of sales tax generated out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that those are really good points, especially that to line out for anybody that's considering putting any kind of donation in for it or revenue in for it. I mean, to know those things and have them lined out, and then to know, too, how this is going to compare, size-wise and all that, too. Is it going to be a $4 million project, or is it going to be a $6 million project, I think is another piece to...
How the rumor mill goes, I mean, we have these public hearings, and I wish the galley was plumb full of people, but there's not. I just want the public to understand, we know the need, the staff knows the need. We're not going to let, two people, that's a great turnout. I mean, it really is. So we're going to move forward on this project. We have a call with architects to start getting some semi-firm numbers on what you see right now, and so we're moving forward with this project. And another reason why is that there was a 2-cent sales tax. It's coming up for renewal in 27, I believe it is. So we're just getting started now, trying to make plans to maybe renew the sales tax, add money to it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Just whatever the public will allow us to do. So.
I have a question. Maybe I missed the number, but do you guys have maybe like a ballpark number of what this complex may cost? Not yet to get the final designs.
We're still just gathering the data.
Just got it right now.
I mean, it's kind of, I'm not even going to say. I mean, it's going to be in several million dollars.
I would figure so. Are you guys planning to get lights up as well?
Oh, if I had my way, yeah, it'll be a first class off.
I'm sure there's a way that we can make it very efficient, because I've seen a lot of ballpark fields, and maybe we don't need that many, but maybe we do. But I know that sometimes I've seen some ballparks where you can double a field where it's a baseball league field, but you can have an inner heated seat fence on the inside to double it as a t-ball field or
Yeah.
even a little league field.
It's kind of like the soccer. I knew nothing about soccer until I came here, and I mean, they take a soccer field and you make
Three,
four,
yeah.
3 or 4 fields out of one soccer field. So yeah, similar to baseball.
That's awesome.
But that'll all be taken into consideration.
And all those fields get used up pretty well, right? Like traffic-wise, everybody uses all those fields.
Well, there's a couple of fields that are not being utilized right now, but it's like anything else. It's got its, baseball might be good for a year, 2 or 3. Then all of a sudden, hey, you got a new group of kids. It's all about baseball. But I think the old pun, if you build it, they're going to come. Look at the soccer complex. I'm sure there was some people that, I don't know what company. Look at what that soccer complex does for this region.
And The reason why I asked that is because I know like in Fire, I don't know if you guys seen their field, but they have a soccer field that's the full length of a soccer field, but then it doubles as 2 softball fields next to each other with a divider of a PVC fence. So I didn't know if one of them didn't get used that much, or it could almost be used as a softball field or something like wow, or maybe that's just a thought. If since it's already there, then if you kind of just build that, and then maybe at the complex over here, you might not need as many filters, but we're steaming in, it could be a cheaper. Just something.
Any other comments? Miss Jenny, you want to say anything? Any comments from our board?
Well, I think it's pretty cool that the tourism board, brought this up too, and, if we don't ask, we don't know. So we might as well get some research done and, maybe start, when we started doing the soccer complex, we kind of rallied the troops of who was, part of the soccer community, and we brought in, we had 3, I think, public board meetings. I mean, we came up here and looked at the renderings and put sticky notes on them, what we liked, what we didn't like. We changed some of the renderings. It got built, some things needed to change, and so I think once Mike kind of starts, getting some numbers put together, that would be a great time for you, being in the softball, baseball community. When we have that public meeting, you need to start rallying the troops and have them come to these meetings so that they can start to, give their opinions, because that's kind of how we get things going. And like I said, we'll work on finding some money and grants like he's talking about and things like that. And in your world of softball, if you see some grant money out there or other groups of people that are willing to put in money, we consider that too, So like the Nash helped us with that soccer, but that was around for a long time. It was at the schools first, and then we took it to the city. So
Yeah, I can rally some friends up. I know quite a few friends.
yeah, absolutely.
Are all for this
Absolutely.
complex. We've had no.
Pretty cool. I'm excited. That's exciting. It's exciting.
I think Ms. Davis made an excellent point. We at City Hall, we love to have that input. Lobby us as much as you can. I mean, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
The more we can hear about it, the more, thanks.
Definitely. I mean, I'll talk to them and I'll try to bring as many as I can. They would all love to see that, and I've had many conversations that are just as passionate as I am. They just weren't able to be here today, so I don't really love this.
Well, here's the thing. Talk is cheap, but these guys are acting on it now. I mean, the fact that we have this in our hand right now, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Exactly.
So
Once I seen kind of went through these pages, I was like, well, this is
Yeah,
nice. 'Cause this
we're
is
thinking.
what I was coming up here
Should
to
have
talk
come to the
about.
convention and tourism
It's
meeting.
awesome to see.
good.
Well, just to put my little 2 cents on what we can do better on the parks, safe walking paths around everywhere. I know there's a couple of parks that the cement's uneven and stuff like that, or like maybe we could put a bridge in, like Fowler Park that goes down into the water runoff, maybe have bridges there. I know we talked about that a couple years ago, but if we can budget that in somehow, some way in the future. And then also, and I know that this would be a big one, but I'm going to mention it, letting Sunset go dry and clean it up really good as much as we can and do that whole side so that way the water doesn't actually run onto the walking path whenever it gets high. And I know that's going to be a big cost one, but maybe we can budget that, maybe not in the 5-year, but maybe a 10-year plan, and get that looking a little bit better to go all the way around and have the lake look like a good lake kind of thing. And so that's what I would like to see.
Can we look into extending the walking
Because
path?
that lake needs to be dredged, needs to be cleaned up. And we have a lot of solids already in the bottom. And that's one of the things that it was happening when the water got so low, we had a lot of fish dying. They have enough oxygen. So there's a lot of reasons why the water is running up so high like that. That'd be one of them. And that'd be a big something that I think would be more reasonable to do. But, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can always be discussing, but
Yeah,
well, was brought up at one point too about having that lane cleaned up.
yeah.
It would be a big project. It would be something I personally would like to see before I go.
Yeah, because that's one of our most popular parks, right, Mr. Shannon? Is Sunset? Yeah.
I got cringe when you said Dragon Lake.
Well, not necessarily drain, but let it dry up, which, I know our pumps haven't been running out there for a while because it's rained so much, but maybe our next drought that we have that's like real intense, just let it dry out.
Yeah, but it was also awful nice to see the lake overflow.
Yeah, I wish it would just overflow the other way instead of towards the golf course. And you was gonna say something?
I would like to see us extend the walking path over there up into like further into the west side. Because I think, I mean, we have a big running community and everything, and I think it'd be important to just give them a more scenic route, basically. But that's all.
I would just like to say something, the parks are looking great, every time I go out there, they always look clean, picked up. Sure, they can always be some improvements, so that was part of the season perfect, but overall, city-wise, that's doing a great job. That's,
Good guys, great group of guys that help me out.
the grass is, I don't never really see it overgrown, type of thing, always really clean, so, what else do you have?
Do we have any more public comments?
Hi, can I hop up here real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. I literally just ran across the street, so I'm kind of lost of breath right now, but I'll catch it. Hi, my name's Shelby Redcorn. I love my town, I love my community. I love the Parks Department. I love everything George does. I represent a couple boards. One of them that really relates to the park is the Home for the Holidays board, where we have our lights at the park. Last year was our second year to have it. We're rolling into our third year. I have it on my list to get a hold of the city manager with our Parks Department and talk to you guys soon, so we're ahead of the year. Last year we really talked about infrastructure at the park. I'd love to see some more infrastructure. Just as someone that does a lot of community activities. I know we're having Fiesta Days down at the park this year, along with a couple other events. Well, let's see, we have Fiesta Days, Home for the Holidays. What else do we have? Anybody else?
Maybe the trunk or treat.
The trunk or treat, that's what I've been seeing. And which those are kind of moving off Main Street down to the park, which I think is a much more safe area. My family's been here for a few generations. Whenever my mom was a child, that on the east side, that North Toddler Park used to actually kind of be a wading pool for kids, and my mom would always play there as a kid. I'd love to see that used as a splash pad again. That's one of my ideas, just as a place. I have hopes and dreams for our activity center to be more of a multi-use facility, to where people that are coming from out of town, staying in hotel rooms, go to these events and then trickle down to our park at Sunset Park and work at having more activities down there. I would love to see infrastructure for food trucks. I know that there's a Guyman Lions Club lease for the train at the park, and I think the boats and the paddle boats and things. I'd love to see you guys maybe working with them more on things we can do, like paddle boarding or fishing off those. I don't know, promote maybe some lake usage. Infrastructure. I know you guys just really redid that area, the stage down at the park, which was great. Last year for Home for the Holidays, George and his guys killed it. They cleaned up the park. They cut down so many tree limbs that needed it. They really got it cleaned up for our group to come in and put the lights up. We did have an infrastructure problem of not having electricity, so Manny Monalago with Sims Electric was able to make it work last year. Our third year is kind of our restructure year and rebuilding and kind of working on ourselves for Home for the Holidays at Christmas time. So I'm hoping by Christmas maybe we could see some of those infrastructure updates. I think Home for the Holidays really will do a great job again this year. We have a lot of things we're going to be doing. Of course, December 1st, the lighting at the park, which is a big deal. I know last year we had a little over 2,000 people come to it, so I'm hoping to have even more people this year. And the park's used throughout the year, out throughout the month of December with those rides and just people going down and kind of gazing at it. So I really appreciate you guys even having this meeting to hear the public say anything. I'm really excited to see what you guys decide and how you move forward. I think this would be a great opportunity for the parks to connect with the Convention and Tourism Board that I also serve on. Maybe we can see some infrastructure with other city activities along with the parks, whether that's working at the activity center or areas close to the parks. I don't know, Oklahoma Park, you guys have the Centennial Park. I'd love to see the park worked on. The dog park is a really great tourist attraction. Maybe you guys can build off that as well. I have a lot of out-of-town people that I work with in my real estate career that talk about the dog park whenever they're out-of-town people coming to Guyman. They're like, you guys have a dog park. That's a real big ticket item on their list, especially my clients that don't have children and their dogs are their children. Yeah. Also, sorry, I'm a little bit late to the meeting tonight, so I didn't hear everybody else's great ideas, but I hope everyone else had a great idea.
Great ideas.
Yeah?
Yes.
Ah, we covered it? Awesome. I knew we would. Imagine a splash pad with people having an indoor sporting complex at the fairgrounds, and in between sessions, you can go down and check out the food trucks at Sunset Lake before your kid's next soccer tournament or indoor basketball tournament, whatever it may be, a showing animal at the activity center, convention. I think the ideas are there where Sunset and the activity center is at, so I'd love to see that partnership go forward in whatever way we can make it move forward with.
So what would the food trucks need? Like, if we were to put a food, what's your thoughts on that? Like,
right now over at Bob's Bar, we have Burgers on Wheels. They come and they connect into one of our RV plugins, and I think that our lowest ampage is 40 amps. Does anybody in the audience know what it takes for a food truck to run? 30 or 50 amps, like you're looking at an RV amp. Convention and tourism side, to kind of maybe give you guys some oomph to get some money going back there, I could easily see on the west side maybe being like short camp stay RV spot hookups for people that are going to the activity center for their convention or rodeo people. I mean, just putting a pad out, putting an amp up, that'd really draw people to our lake. I also would love to see the wildlife department, since I'm talking to the Parks Board. I know the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife doesn't stock, or at one point wasn't stocking Lake Etling over in Cimarron County by Boise City. They were just stocking Guyman. I think that we have a strong case to say that we need our lake dredged and cleaned for wildlife purposes that could also fall into humanitarian purposes. I'm riddling it off. I'm sorry, I know.
No, you're good. We started talking about that.
All right, look at me. I should have been on time. Once again, I'm sorry. I'm literally 30 minutes late, but a working girl, what can I say? But I think that would be great routes. I'm here to be a volunteer and help however I can. I don't want to just be all talk. If you guys assign me to something, I want to be sure I can help you guys follow through.
I mean, I think that those are great ideas with the collaboration as well.
Yeah.
I mean, one thought that just popped into my head is the farmer's market. The farmer's market is on Main Street in front of the courthouse, but it's not a ton of room, and it doesn't leave anybody to do anything else once they're done with the farmer's market. If we could get it out to Sunset Park, get some food trucks out there, get things rolling, and then all of a sudden you have something to do right after you go shop, or the kids are going and playing, or whatever's going on, so you can spend more time with merchants and vendors at the actual, and it would be busy, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's a great idea.
and that
A great
the Lions
example-
Club and the boats
Yeah.
and the train and all this.
A great example I'd love for you guys to look at is Crystal Beach in Woodward, Oklahoma. You have to kind of adjust your mindset a little bit because we have the fairgrounds that are on kind of a hill and then the park set below it, but we're essentially set up for the same potential there. Whether Crystal Beach, they have their park, they have a lot of Kids Inc. facilities, they have the arena where they have the Oklahoma Junior Britches Rodeo state finals there. I think that's something we could really model ourselves after and look at and see how we could do that and maybe be better and grow from that. That'd be great. And I know that we have other people in the area, corporations, private donors that want to see that quality of life by here to Guyman, and I really think focusing on Sunset Lake and the activity center is something that would really benefit us immediately. Those buildings are old, they're painted Aztec gold, that's like one of the worst things about them, but fresh coat of white paint, and we can really update them babies.
Well, they just got done painting the
front side.
front side. Oh, so
Arlene
just-
James had it 100% donated, actually. She got paint donated to her, and she had volunteers donated to her, so
That's good.
imagine what we could do with a little bit of money. Possibilities are endless.
Well, where do the carnival people hook up all their electricity to? I mean, this is kind of a goofy question, but I mean, all those carnival rides were there. I mean.
They have a
do
huge
they-
breaker box between the main activity center and the commercial activity center that I've seen.
They have like a big snake that goes through basically the entire.
I have done research, and the activity center is actually on land that's leased by the city until 2060 for $1 a year. I have that lease agreement on my iPad. I'm happy to send it to anybody. I have reached out to county commissioners, and I'd love to see a bridge built to where we can truly all work together and work on the activity center and work on the parks, whether that's Guyman coming in and building a multi-use sports complex south of the activity center and letting them update those other buildings. I know the county commissioner's really big hang-up is, where are they going to have their fair? I felt like I was confident to say I could reassure them they could guarantee 1 full week of the fair use. I know that's why we have the fair board for the activity center and things like that, but there's 52 weeks in a year, and if they just need one of those 52 weeks, then I think that's a really reasonable request. And it covers more life aspects at the activity center. Whenever my grandparents were young, they used to have boxing matches. They used to have a huge New Year's Day party there. I mean, they had, everything was going on at the activity center. And it's 25 acres more or less on that first flat level, so there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of housing already built. The roads are wide enough. I think it's built for that, and we should really pick that back up.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Shelby.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry I'm late once again.
Speaking like of the activities at the park, there's gonna be a lot of traffic up there at the Sunset Lake Park. Is there any way that we can get like some better stairs that are more accessible for people to walk down? Because I feel like whenever it's congested and people at the park up top, right, by the activity center and all that, there's some stairs, but they're not the best. I mean, you'll trip and fall if you, especially at nighttime if you're not paying attention. So maybe like some nice stairs going down in there.
Lighting.
Park up top.
Yeah, and lighting.
Yeah, some lighting on the stairs, maybe some railings so people can walk down safely. Because that was one of the things that I did notice whenever there was an event down there. All the traffic of people, those stairs can be up.
Good.
And maybe even another set of stairs or something, not just that one that's there.
Yeah.
Get another set going down. There's a problem. There's something with the problem.
Good comments. All right. Do we have any more comments before we close?
Close this baby.
Let's close it. All right. So, do we motion, Ursula? Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we close the
Public.
public forum of this meeting.
Have a second?
I second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I have a motion and a second, and we're good to go. Thank you all for attending.
I think that
Where is that set of stairs?
if we can get them to move the farmers market down there, I think that's a good
I
start.
think the stairs he's talking about are the ones that lead, like,
So we can get Main Street
Towards
to,
the northern
I know that they're called Main Street Diamond.
Yeah, towards the north there.
To get off of Main Street. It's not really, it's not